Hi everyone, I've just finished grading your work for week 2, so please take a look and let me know if you have any questions. As you know, Project 1 was a very difficult assignment. It asked you to not only identify interesting portrayals of individuals, groups, and cultures, but to also think about those things in a way that might feel strange, unfamiliar, or difficult for you. I hope that you will find that over the course of the next 6 weeks, it gets easier and easier to think like a social scientist and to question the things you hear and see in our media on a daily basis. You will need to use this skill this week in the marriage graphic organizer. So please get in touch with me if you are still having trouble asking questions like a social scientist. This week we are examining the way biases, both those we display openly and those we carry deep inside us, can influence how we view and interact with the world. Personally, I find the implicit bias test that you'll learn about in the video for Module 3-1 to be one of the most interesting developments in psychology in recent years. It relies on the fact that our brains literally wire together concepts that we associate with each other, but separates concepts that we don't see associated. This difference in the wiring of our brain allows us to measure how long it takes to tie together things we think of as good, pleasant, or nice, and compare that to things that are not associated in the same way. These biases are important because of the way we are socialized by the unconscious actions, words, or even nonverbal communications of those around us. In other words, we learn to associate things together by seeing how others do the same thing, and we separate concepts and feelings from each other the same way. These implicit biases, which we may or may not even be aware of, are as important as our explicit biases, which we can identify and speak about directly. Bias research is thus a fascinating place where the fields of psychology, sociology, and anthropology all overlap. We will explore that overlap more fully in Learning Block 3-4. We will learn about different types of marriages practiced in other cultures, much as an anthropologist might. Then you will have a chance to explore your own biases about each type of marriage as a psychologist would, and think about the ways each type of marriage may have advantages or disadvantages from a more objective sociological viewpoint. Finally, you'll come up with questions about the topic of marriage that a social scientist might ask. Remember, social scientists tend to ask deep, complex questions, so avoid asking simple why questions and try to change your yes or no questions into something more open-ended, even if just by adding how to the end. In terms of this week's assignments, the discussion board will be similar to weeks 1 and 2. First, you will answer the prompt during week 3. Then you will respond to at least one of your peers during week 4. Remember to check out the rubrics and pay special attention to what is being asked for in the prompts in order to get the full points. That's it for this week. Keep up the energy and the good work.